Good morning, class 9th. Today I'll start the second chapter of your chemistry. Is matter around us pure? So first I'll focus on these two words, matter and pure. Already you have studied in the previous chapter about matter. So now I'm not going to discuss about matter, but I'm going to discuss about the purity of matter. So what is a pure substance and what is an impure substance? So pure substance, when I say the word pure, what does it mean? It means that it is made up of only one type of particles. Okay? These particles are called as atoms or molecules. So if I say that a substance is pure, that means it is made up of same type of atoms or it has same type of atoms or molecules which are present in it, or particles are of the same kind. So this definition is given here in this form. A pure substance is one which consists of a single type of particles, and these particles are nothing but atoms and molecules. So children, this chapter I'll start from not from the first page but from the last page. Why? Because this will make your work easier, and also it will become a proper way of understanding this chapter. Okay, so go to the last page. There is a chart here. Yes, this chart. Open your textbook with this chart. So if you see this chart carefully, matter already you have known. So it is made up of pure substance and mixtures. So first we will discuss what is pure substance. So when I say pure substance, as I told you just now, these are further classified as elements and compounds, which means that all elements and compounds are pure. So why do we call them as pure? Because they are made up of only one type of particles. Thus, all elements, be it hydrogen, oxygen, any element. I hope you remember the names of the elements which you have studied in class 8. Okay, all the elements in the periodic table which goes up to 118 elements are known. These are all pure. Okay, so by now children, you must be in a position to know at least 50 to 60 elements, their symbols, all this must be clear to you. So if not, please go through the textbook. Fourth chapter, you have first 20 elements, hydrogen, helium till calcium, you must know along with the symbols. And also please put this as an extra effort to find out elements from the periodic table. This is up to your own interest, which will help you in getting a better grip of this chemistry. Okay. So now again I'll go for this elements. Okay, so elements, as I told you, the definition of elements, it is here in this page. So what are pure substances? Just now, elements, first it was this term was used by Robert Boyle. You mark it here. Robert Boyle was the first scientist to use the term element in 1661. Henceforth, Lavoisier, a French chemist, okay, he was the first to establish an experimentally useful definition of an element. Now, how did he define element? And this definition is applicable till date. So, he defined an element as a basic form of matter that cannot be broken down into further simpler substances by chemical reactions. So if we go by this definition, what is an element? An element is a substance. Element किसे कहेंगे? An element is a substance which cannot be, it cannot be split up into two or more simpler substances by usual chemical methods, that is by applying heat or light or electric energy. So if I say, suppose hydrogen is an element, so what do I mean by this? If I say hydrogen is an element, it means that hydrogen is made up of only one type of atoms. What is that? It is the atoms of hydrogen. Okay, so hydrogen के अंदर hydrogen जो element है उसमें आपको एक ही तरह के atoms मिलेंगे. hydrogen चाहे copper कोई, उसमें कौन से किसके atoms रहेंगे? It will be made up of atoms of hydrogen. So, two things you have understood. An element cannot be split up into two or more simpler substances. Why? Because it is made up of only one type of atom. Any element, okay? So, this must be clear from the discussion that we have done. So, next 118 elements I have discussed. Next, we will classify elements as solids, okay, liquids or gases. Already you have studied this. There are few exceptions to this. So just as the 26 letters of the English alphabet combine in various ways to make a very large number of words, similarly these elements, they combine together to form compounds. Okay, so इसमें और एक चीज़ है, there is one more thing which I will discuss before going into compounds. Compounds जाने से पहले आपको और एक चीज़ दिख रहा होगा, metals, non-metals and metalloids. Okay, ये टॉपिक मैं यहाँ पे नहीं कराऊंगी. Why I'll not do this? Because already in class 8 you have studied in details, so you will go through this on your own. So I have discussed about elements because this is the first time you are learning this, but elements which can be further classified as metals, non-metals and metalloids, ये portion आप खुद से do it on yourself. Okay, read it for your own because you need this in again class 10th. Now I will directly go to the next topic, which is compound. So what is a compound first? So if you see here, definition of compound is very nicely given. A compound is a substance composed of two or more elements combined with one another in a fixed proportion. So whenever a compound is formed, it will have a fixed proportion. What do you mean by fixed proportion? Fixed proportion means there must be a definite ratio. Suppose water. Water is a compound because it is made up of hydrogen and oxygen combined together in the ratio of 2:1 or 1:8 by mass. This again you will study in class in the third chapter, that is atoms and molecules. So I always take the example of water here because it is the one of the H2O, water H2O, okay, by mass 1:8. Similarly, NH3. Let us take another compound, NH3. Do you remember what is the compound? It is NH3 is ammonia. It is also a compound. It is made up of nitrogen, hydrogen, okay, combining the ratio of 3:1 here. Similarly, we have sodium chloride, NaCl. We have glucose, C6H12O6. We have glucose or starch, whichever you call. We have washing soda. So many common daily use items which are compounds. Why do we call them as compounds? We call them as compounds because they are made up of two or more elements combined in a fixed proportion. Okay. So to understand this, please remember, this compounds are further classified as acid, bases and salts, but it is not necessary here. You will study in class 10th. Okay. So if I say water is a compound, how will you prove that, or how will you justify that water is a compound and not a mixture? To be a compound, please note down this point because I have given a question based on this. A compound cannot be separated into its components by physical method. That means you cannot break a compound, okay, by physical methods. First thing. So water is a compound, carbon dioxide is a compound, whatever it is. Why? Because a compound cannot be separated into its components by physical method. Next, number 2 point, this most very important point that you must understand. The properties of a compound are generally different. This is the first property. The second property. The properties of a compound are entirely different from the constituent elements. So that means, suppose water again. Water is made up of elements, that is hydrogen and oxygen. But the properties of water, when hydrogen and 2 parts of hydrogen and 1 part of oxygen combines, so it forms a totally entirely different compound. Similarly, one more example, you can take carbon dioxide. Okay, so carbon dioxide, carbon and oxygen, they have entirely different properties, but when they combine together, they form carbon dioxide, which is a gas. So this is a totally different property is being obtained. So this is the reason that these compounds are formed, are entirely having entirely different properties than their constituent elements. And as I told you before, they always have a fixed composition. That means how much part, either there must be a fixed ratio. Example always water, best example 2:1 ratio. Okay, so this is all about elements and compounds. So आपको यहाँ पे actually this chapter is based on mixtures. I'll go to the most important part here. So first you must understand what I have explained till now. I have explained you about pure substance, I have explained you about elements, and I have explained you about compounds. Why water is a compound and not a mixture. So now you are in a position to distinguish between elements and compounds. But the main purpose of this chapter is to understand, is matter around us pure? So we have understood what are pure substances. Now if you go to the next part of this chart, if you see this chart clearly, mixtures. What are mixtures? We are going to discuss now about mixtures. Okay. Impure substances are called as mixtures. That means that a mixture is a substance which consists of 2 or more elements or compounds not combined chemically they do not have not combined chemically, okay, not combined chemically. I hope you can understand. So if compounds are in a definite proportion, two or more elements combined in a definite proportion, mixtures are those which are made up of two or more elements. Mixtures are made up of two or more elements but not in any definite combination. For example, two or more, इससे भी ज़्यादा हो सकता है. So for example, air is a mixture. Okay, why it is a mixture? Because it contains so many different types of gases. कोई गैस का वो नहीं है कि इसमें इतना आपका कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड वेरी होता है. Yes or no? The various gases of the air, you know, they are not chemically combined. आपको कोई definite formula नहीं है. जिसमें formula नहीं है वो है mixture. जिसके पास formula है वो हो जाता है आपका compound. I hope ये आपको सबसे easy तरीका to distinguish between to distinguish between compound and mixture. Combined chemically with one another. Similarly, one more example is gunpowder. So you find out what are the constituents of gunpowder. We will discuss this in the discussion period, okay, and I'll want to hear from you what are the constituents of gunpowder. So all solutions are actually mixtures. Now I'll come to the main part. So these mixtures are made up of two mixtures are further classified into two. One is called as homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. So what are homogeneous mixtures? Those mixtures in which substances are completely mixed together and they are indistinguishable from one another are called homogeneous mixture. That means a homogeneous mixture has a unique. Okay, to understand types of mixtures, go to this activity, that is activity 2.1. okay, you will understand with the help of this activity. Let us divide the class into groups A, B, C, D. Suppose, so first group A takes a beaker containing 50 ml of water and 1 spatula of copper sulfate, CuSO4. So it has made a CuSO4 with water, H2O. Next, group B takes 50 ml of water and 2 spatula full of copper sulfate beaker in a powder. Group C and D can take different amounts of copper sulfate or common salt and mix the given components to form a mixture. Report the observation. So group A and group B, okay, if they get a uniform composition, please underline this term, uniform composition, such mixtures are called homogeneous. Some other examples of such mixtures are salt solution, okay, sugar solution. So why they are called as homogeneous? Because they have a uniform composition. So homogeneous mixtures, okay, so but if you add more amount of copper sulfate, the color of the solution becomes more and more dark and after some time it can have a variable composition. So group C and group D, they have obtained mixtures which contain physically distinct parts and have non-uniform compositions. So mixtures are called those mixtures in which they have non-uniform compositions, they are called as heterogeneous mixtures. Example, mixture of sodium chloride and iron fillings, okay, I'll give you so many other examples here. Salt and sulfur, oil and water, these all are heterogeneous mixtures, and these heterogeneous mixtures, okay, this is the basis for your further separation of substances which you are going to study in the upcoming chapters. Now go to the second activity again, okay, now listen very carefully, okay, very important second activity, because this activity will help you to understand what are the different types of solution, suspensions and colloidal solution. So in group A, we have added few crystals of copper sulfate, okay, 1 spatula full of copper sulfate to group B. Next, to group C, we are adding chalk powder, okay, to group D, we are adding milk or ink, okay, 4 test tubes, copper sulfate, okay, few crystals. Second one, more amount of copper sulfate in group B and chalk and few drops of milk or ink. So each group, okay, if you stir it, then what do you see? And then if you pass it through a torch, okay, आप torch के सामने अगर उसको लाते हो solution को, तो आप क्या देखते हो? So this is something that we are going to study in the details. Now the first one, the first test tube where you had added copper sulfate, this made a solution. You have made a solution of copper sulfate in water, that is CuSO4 solution. Similarly, B also has made a copper sulfate solution, but what about C and D? C में क्या ऐड किया था आप लोगों ने? C में आपने ऐड किया था chalk powder. Chalk powder or wheat flour, it does not dissolve, okay? ये कैसा रह जाता है? It remains as a residue, so it forms a suspension. But what about milk in water? milk in water forms a new term for you, that is colloidal solution. अभी मैं ये सब आज डिस्कस नहीं करूँगी. आज today we will discuss only what is solution. So आज आप assignment के लिए, as for your assignment purpose, you will only write these two questions. What is a substance? I'll give you two more questions. What is a substance? List the points of difference between homogeneous and अभी ये चीज़ ना homogeneous and heterogeneous, इसके ये second question आप मत attempt करना. Sorry, no need to attempt the second question now because it is given in the next part also. You will attempt only question number 1. Okay. Next, what is solution? Solution is a homogeneous mixture. Just now I have told you of 2 or more substances. आप copper sulfate solution बना सकते हो, आप sugar solution बना सकते हो, water solution. So lemonade, soda water, etc. These are all examples of solutions. Okay. Usually we think of a solution as a liquid that contains either solid, liquid or gas, but we can also have solid solutions. We can have gaseous solutions. So there may be solutions of in air also. Yeah, that is gaseous solution. तो किसे हम solution बोलेंगे? जो आपका एक homogeneous composition form करेगा, that is called as a solution. Simple thing. Alloys. You have studied about alloys in class 8. So alloys are mixtures of 2 or more metals or metal and non-metal. And they cannot be separated into their components by physical methods. So alloy is also a mixture, but it has a homogeneous composition. Okay. So example के लिए आप brass का example ले सकते हो. So generally कोई भी solution हो, आप हमेशा ये because in the upcoming chapters we will be doing numerical. Solution is made up of 2 parts. One is called as the solute, another is called as the solvent. Solute plus solvent forms solution. ठीक है. अब सॉल्यूट क्या है? द कंपोनेंट विच इज़ प्रेजेंट इन माइनर अमाउंट इज कॉल्ड एज सॉल्यूट, और जिसमें वो डिजॉल्व हो जाता है उसे कहते हैं सॉल्वेंट. आप ऐसे याद रखो, यू रिमेंबर लाइक दिस. सपोज यू टेक अ पिंच ऑफ सॉल्ट एंड वाटर. सॉल्ट इज द सॉल्यूट, वाटर इज द सॉल्वेंट. यू एड टुगेदर, यू फॉर्म अ सॉल्ट सोल्यूशन. अब आप शुगर सोल्यूशन का खुद सोचो, शुगर सोल्यूशन में कौन सा सॉल्यूट होगा, कौन सा सॉल्वेंट होगा, और सोल्यूशन तो आपका बन चुका है, दैट इज शुगर सोल्यूशन. ओके. एग्जाम्पल्स, सोल्यूशन of sugar in water is solid in liquid solution. Okay. A solution of iodine. आप ये examples आपको याद रखना है. टिंक्चर ऑफ आयोडीन किसे कहते हैं? इन टिंक्चर ऑफ आयोडीन विच इज़ द सॉल्यूट एंड विच इज़ द सॉल्वेंट. देखो आयोडीन में ये आपका यूज़ होता है. टिंक्चर ऑफ आयोडीन इज मोस्टली यूज्ड एज अ reliever, spray reliever. Okay. Similarly, aerated waters, these are also used in various aerated water जो आपका soda water वगैरह होता है. There carbon dioxide is the solute and water is the solvent. Air, as you know, is a mixture of various gases. Just now I have discussed. Now we are going to discuss the most important properties of solution. What are the properties? ये आपको learn करना है because this you have to learn because this you have to use as a difference. Okay. So solution, as I told you, is a homogeneous mixture. The size of the particles are smaller than nanometer, 1 nm. nm जहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है, nm stands for nanometer in diameter. So they are so small that they cannot be seen with the naked eye. Now because of very small particle size, they do not scatter a beam of light passing through the solution. जब आप एक टॉर्च को उस solution के सामने रखते हो तो वो अपना particles जो है वो spread out नहीं करता है. That is, the particles of the solution or the particles are not visible. Okay, in the solution. Next, the solute particles cannot be separated. One very important point, they cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. The solute particles do not settle down when left undisturbed, and therefore a solution is always स्टेबल. सो ये सारे जो आपकी प्रॉपर्टीज़ जो आपने पढ़ा है, प्रॉपर्टीज़ ऑफ सोल्यूशन, ये आपको तब काम में आएगा जब आप कंपेयर करोगे एक सोल्यूशन का सस्पेंशन के साथ एंड कॉलोइडल सोल्यूशन के साथ. सो I'll stop here only because the next part, that is concentration of the solution, will take a long time. So and it is based on numericals that I'll start explain in the this interactive class. Okay. So properties of solution इतना तक आप समझ लो. Solution क्या है? So let me rewind before ending what we have studied till now. We have studied about matter. We already know what is matter. Then we have studied whether it is pure or whether it is impure. If it is pure, it is again made up of elements and compounds. Elements क्या है? You have studied properties of elements. Next, why something is called as an element and why something is called as a compound, we have studied. Next, mixtures. These are impure substances are mixtures. They are further classified as homogeneous and heterogeneous. Next, we have studied about solution. what is the solution and uske properties kya hai, what are the examples of solution, that is also very important. So don't skip out all these topics. So with this I end this class, and during the interactive class we will be discussing whatever doubts you have. Thank you.